Call of Duty's biggest mistake on the newest update is the fact that we only got Urzikstan back in big maps. Let's talk about it. So a lot of the complaints on the game right now, for those of us who have been playing for a long time, is a whole lot of things that we didn't get back. Obviously, we've never got audio, so if we put that aside, that audio wasn't really in its best state ever. It was actually getting pretty good near the end there, and then all of a sudden it was gone again, which is great. Which comes at really at a terrible point right after the back end of, essentially enough, them getting leaked that they were about to try to attempt to put in a pay-to-win audio mechanic that has fizzled out a little bit. Still a little bit odd on how that really went down. But overall, the point is the audio systems in here hasn't worked very well. But again, the biggest issue that we've had with the newest Call of Duty is, I think, the fact that we were forced into Urzikstan or Area 99. I'm not a big Resurgence player, so obviously that's my own preferences. I would rather have played big maps, but we don't have access to any new big maps, so we've been thrown back into Urzikstan. And I think a lot of the complaints would have at least either been slower rolling or maybe been completely missing if they would have done similar to every other version of integration of Call of Duty and gave us a new map. So even when the original Black Ops Cold War came out, the Black Ops Cold War came out to an integration of at least the Black Ops version of Verdansk. We received, I forgot I was using the SVD. Made a mistake there. We received the 1984 version of Verdansk, which meant we were able to change up the game a little bit, even when things came in and were feeling a little weird sometimes. At least it was a new version of the map, and we weren't just stuck right there in the exact same world. Right now, our biggest issue is the thing that we got was a backstep from what we already had. So we've already had Urzikstan. We've already played the Urzikstan Season 1. We lost the pop-off change. We lost the bunkers. And we lost the addition of Superstore. So what ended up happening is when they released all of this stuff and they backtracked us and took all of our quality of life changes, we also were reverted back to the most basic version of Urzikstan that we've had. Whereas I feel like if they would have released even the new, updated, whatever you want to consider version of Verdansk, people would have been a little bit slower to judge on a lot of the old mechanics because they've been spending a lot of time playing the new map. Or if they would have released Avalon, which rumor has it that Avalon was already completed, then at least we would have had a brand new map, and not even just a rehashed version of it, just a straight up brand new map. But again, we've been sent back to day one equivalent of Urzikstan, which means that people are going to be able to sit here and nitpick this a lot faster. So much so that it didn't take even minutes before people realized that the game wasn't feeling the same. And I've talked about that in my last video about why the game's not feeling the same. If you haven't seen that, I'll link the video for that, for all of that here at the end. But let's talk about realistically how a lot of this could have been avoided. So obviously, releasing the new map with the game would have probably been the biggest priority. Obviously, they really wanted us to play Area 99. I'm guessing that that was probably Treyarch's Flesh Blood creation. Area 99 wanting to have an homage to Nuketown in the Resurgence mode and maps rotations. And it seems like all of the games have got to really do that. We had Modern Warfare 2's Infinity Ward got access to make the Ashika Island. And it seems like the Modern Warfare 3 era got access to making Bondel. And I think that was actually with assistance from Ravensoft anyways. But basically what happened is it seems like every game that's come out, they've got the option to create a map alongside of a big map. So a Resurgence map and a big map. And honestly, I feel like the game would have been a lot better received, especially considering that Rebirth players are just obsessed with Rebirth. That if they would have dropped the big map with the launch, so Avalon or the updated Verdansk, and then you have Rebirth, a lot of people would have still been doing pretty good on it. They'd had new guns, they had access to a new map, and then they would have had access to also returning to Rebirth, which seems to be the ultimate crutch after content gets stale, because a lot of people like to return to Rebirth to kind of give you that multiplayer vibe again inside of the BR-style gameplay. But we didn't get that. We got a Resurgence map, and it feels like every time they release a Resurgence map, nothing can really compete with the feeling that people have when they're playing on Rebirth Island. So you're competing against, which is essentially enough one of the longest, most loved, long-standing maps, because for some reason Rebirth doesn't die. I guess that's why they keep calling it Rebirth. But Rebirth just doesn't die. It doesn't go away. It just keeps coming back. And whereas all the other maps, they kind of lost after a year, right? So I'm just wondering if just somewhere in there, the game could have done so much better had they actually released a big map with it. Now, obviously, I want to hear where you all are in on this. Are you Resurgence players? Are you big map players? Are you just playing this because you ran out of things to do? Or are you playing this to return to Call of Duty because you got tired of Apex or PUBG or Hello Kitty Adventure Island? Whatever's made you upset in the past. Whatever games hurt you. Why did they hurt you? But yeah, what brings you back into Call of Duty, or did you never leave? Is this something you've just been doing for a long time? I obviously have been playing Call of Duty for a long time. It's been one of my main titles for the last 4 years, almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years around the time Verdansk comes back around. It's been one of my main titles. I just feel like it's become almost a staple that whenever they release a new version of Call of Duty, they release a new big map. And to really miss that this time around, especially after giving the teaser that they were returning Verdansk and all the rumors that they have that Avalon was already completed, it just seems like such a big swing and a miss for the map to not happen. Right now, the rumor is that we're basically waiting until March 10th to be able to get Verdansk back. That's a really long time in gaming world. It's a really long time. Essentially enough, you'll be halfway through the game cycle before we get access to a new big map. And Urzikstan's never really been anybody's favorite map. Like, there's a lot of people that have enjoyed Urzikstan. I've been one of them. But at no point I don't think I'll ever hear anybody that's played any of the other maps be like, oh man, Urzikstan was my favorite. That's like finding the rare Ashika Island lover. You know? It's just one of those things. It just didn't hit the way I guess they wanted it to. So we end up in a situation now where probably one of the most middle ground maps that we've had is the one that we're stuck with for the longest time. And that's really, it's really dangerous, especially if they were hoping that this Call of Duty was going to be the quote-unquote return to form, especially with the added Omni movement where they really doubled down on that versus the movement we had right there at the end of Modern Warfare 3. And if you're not familiar with how a lot of that changed, essentially enough, there was a big backlog of changes that happened while they were in the middle of doing the integration for the Black Ops movement. And so a lot of quality of life stuff got left behind. So now we're kind of all just like readjusting to how the game feels on a map that we've already grown very accustomed to how it was feeling. It's just a really, really weird feeling. How is the Black Ops integration going for you? I hope it's treating you well. I know there's been a lot of performance issues, especially on anybody running NVIDIA and any of the Intel style stuff. Seems like they've got hit the hardest out of everybody. I know that there's been a massive PlayStation bug too, so I guess I can't even say that NVIDIA's got hit the hardest. NVIDIA's been hit the hardest for performance issues. PlayStation's been hit the hardest for just not being able to even play the game. According to quite a few people I know, they haven't even been able to launch the game. It gets to the HQ screen and then it kind of just like blacks out and you don't get to go any further. I'm really hoping all of that gets solved here soon, so that way more of my PlayStation friends can actually try out the game, see how they really feel about it. Right, as of right now, the Omni movement is really good. The movement feels smooth to me, but obviously there's a lot of settings and a lot of things that can really alter how you feel about games. So if you're not enjoying it, that's okay. Honestly, right now it feels like anybody who's not using Omni movement might be actually in a better position than people who are, because it's turning out that Omni movement is causing more people to lose fights than to win fights, just because it seems like people are getting stuck in the middle of mantling, and with all of the quality of life perks that got removed, getting caught in the middle of a mantle is probably the most lethal thing that can happen to you as a player. The mantles are really long, and the readying up is really long as well. And so if you are even only halfway efficient at being an Omni movement man, you are going to absolutely get your butt kicked. One of the things I can say right now, especially in this game, one setting that you can actually change is turning off your tac sprint, your auto tac sprint. And while you're trying to learn, you know, some of the Omni movement stuff, it might actually save you a bit. And also turn off a lot of your assisted mantles, because the assisted mantles are, I think it's getting a lot of people killed. Because again, like I said, the mantling suffers a lot whenever you are up against something, because the climb is slower. So you see how much slower, if you've played the other one, you see how much slower that mantle is. It's not great. It is not a great trick. So the sooner you can you get used to that without having to deal with the mantling over everything, it might be helpful. Also, the audio is still bad if I haven't already said that. But yeah, we're here in Plunder right now. I'm leveling the SOG and the SVD. I've got all my primaries dark mattered over from multiplayer. But now I get to start the grind into the new Abyss camo, which is the Warzone Mastery camo. I feel like they've done a really good job giving us things to actually work for, especially once you start considering things to work for inside of Warzone, which there wasn't a lot of that. We don't have any nuke camos or anything to work for currently, so realistically right now it's just the camos. Like this dude absolutely got no audio that I'm here. Like I can absolutely just no fear whatsoever to just run up on him. It's crazy. But yeah, I would love to hear how the game's treating you all. This is just me checking in. I wanted to make a video to see how you all are feeling, give you all a place to kind of leave your opinions. And if it's bad ones of the game, that's okay. I would love to hear what is giving you troubles, what could be better, what you'd like to see them add back in, or if you need to see them take something out. All of which is valid. I would love to see where you're all at with the games. But thank you all for stopping by. I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm going to have a few videos here tagged for you just so you can see where the game's going. If you're looking for some of the best weapons, or you want to learn what some of the things that are missing from Modern Warfare 3, those videos will be over here on the side. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, peace.